Hello everyone, Any Man here, trying out a new catchphrase. Tell us whether you like it or not in the comments. The catchphrase is, Elitism is the disease. You are the cure. And today, we're reading from Iga and Koka Ninja Skills, translated by Yoshie Minami, brought to publication by Anthony Cummins. Starting with Section 1, Skill 4, Unko no Tsutai. The tradition of the movement of clouds. Iga traditions say, to communicate an urgent message from where you are on a covert mission, you should arrange for Tsugi Hikyaku, relay messengers. These messengers should be arranged at intervals, and they should relay the message by running and from one person to another. In later times, footnote 11, it has become Haya Hikyaku, express messengers. But there is a way to do this discreetly, and this is only a way to be used in peacetime. You should have commoners instead of Bushi warriors, footnote 12, perform this, and pretend that the purpose for their movement between areas is to communicate current market prices. This is done so that people will not identify the real purpose of passing messages and gathering information. Koka traditions say, where you can see each other, use flags to communicate, and where you cannot see each other, use smoke signals. Arrange for the number of flags or the number of smoke signals to be made in order to communicate your message. At night, communicate to each other with lights. For all situations, you should arrange messengers at intervals, just as is done with relay messengers. So a message can be relayed as far as 100 ri, and in no time at all. Secret traditions say, an example, if there is a roadside shrine on a hilltop, you should arrange for what specific message will be intended when you will put a flag on the right side, or what meaning is carried if you put the flag on the left side. If you use lights, arrange for what message you will communicate if a fire is in front of the shrine, and what message if the fire is in the rear of the shrine. This is also the case when you use a large tree instead of a roadside shrine. In any case, you should experiment and test before you actually use it. Skill 5, Nomi Shirami no Tsutai. The tradition of fleas and lice. Iga traditions say, fleas and lice live on people and go with them wherever they go, no matter if it is a palace or a magnificent castle. Just as fleas and lice move around, shinobi no mono should first make connections with certain people, and then infiltrate by accompanying them. Take note, you should only infiltrate through a route where people do not pass, that is, by crossing a moat, or by crossing over a wall, by infiltrating in stealth only, when it is a state of emergency. The first thing you should do is pass through a gate by sticking close to people. If it is impossible to pass through a gate, then you should infiltrate by crossing over a moat or by climbing over a wall. When, footnote 13, teaching fundamental lessons, if you draw an illustration of a castle and show it to your students and ask them to identify the best point of entry for infiltration of that castle, you will find that those who are not talented tend to obsess with the name and common image of the shinobi, and will say such things as, the corners of the wall are good for infiltration as they have good footholds, or I would climb up the concertina-style wall. A smart student will say that he would go through the gate. Oh, by the way, footnote 14 at wall. A smart student will say that he would go through the gate where people are passing through anyway. You may think it is difficult to go through a gate which is known for being secure, but it actually can be easier than infiltrating by stealth. If someone says he would go through the gate, then you can say he is talented and has an aptitude for this job. Such a method of infiltration sounds difficult, but in fact, it is actually easy because you pass by disguising yourself as someone who can actually pass through there with ease. Also, traditions say, if you use tens of shinobi no mono, there is no place you cannot infiltrate. A small number of fleas or lice can be got rid of, but once they have increased in number, it is difficult to kill them all, as they are hiding everywhere. In the same manner, if tens of people infiltrate in various ways through various places, they will succeed in the end in collecting information by listening and watching. The deepest secret traditions say, fleas or lice stick to the body inside of the clothes. In this manner, make anyone, if they are serving the enemy clan or if they are a peasant or commoner, follow and obey you. Make a shinobi agent for your side from the enemy, and seek them out. This is the so-called internal spy. If you make an ally of one of the enemy in any shape or form and have the person bring you into their area, then you can infiltrate anywhere, no matter how deeply you need to go, and you can get secret information from anyone no matter how close it is kept. It is very difficult for the enemy to defend against you if you gain an ally within them. Skill number 6. Mitsume Kikitsume no Daiji. The principle of Mitsume and Kikitsume. Koka traditions say, kill 2 dogs while they are mating, and take the vagina and the male genitalia, and put the second one into the first one, and bury them both at a crossroads. Next, pray every morning for 7 days while offering a bowl of water and asking that your wish will be fulfilled. Also spend these 7 days without speaking a word and make a vow of silence. After these 7 days, take both of them out of the ground and put them in your house. Pray for a further 7 days, just as above, while offering a bowl of tea each time. After this, dry them both in a shade. Then put them on a goma altar and burn holy sticks of invocation for 7 days. When finished, you carry them in your clothes, and when you perform mitsume, observing, and kikitsume, listening, you hold them tightly in your hand. Mitsume means observing thoroughly to discover something, and kikitsume means listening intensely with the aim of discovering information. Also, traditions say, these skills are not seeing or listening casually, but watching or listening closely and carefully. Secret traditions say, on top of seeing or listening closely to discover something, you should go further by observing or listening in more detail to find out the very reason behind the surface of affairs, and to discover truly why a situation is like it is. You should listen or see intensely, speculating on the external facts to penetrate to the truth deep inside. Some traditions of the shinobi, Footnote 15, have threefold teachings. That is, they have 3 different levels of the art, from lower to higher principles, as mentioned in the document Miraiki. It is extremely important that you should not teach everything at once to a given person. The lower tradition states you should start with light teachings and observe the character and nature of the student thoroughly before you admit him into the higher traditions. The middle tradition states you should not only see or listen to things in a superficial way, but observe and listen thoroughly with special care. This is known as Mitsume and Kikitsume. The upper tradition and secret tradition states, about things you see or hear, you should not take this issue lightly, but try to observe or listen deeper to get the truth of things, considering the reason for why any situation is thus. This is Mitsume and Kikitsume. You should not fail to catch the truth when it surfaces, even if it is only visible for a moment. You achieve this by observing and listening, and speculating on what people are thinking beneath the surface, and consider their future actions. Skill 7. Kumo no Tsutai. The traditions of the spider. Koka traditions say, spiders cannot function without their web, just as shinobi no mono cannot cross over a wall or roof without rope. This set of traditions has various skills, and only 2 of them are described here. To cross over a high wall, observe the wall from the outside and throw a banno, footnote 17, tool, grappling iron, over what you consider, footnote number 18, to be a bracket of the wall. If the banno tool has been hooked over the bracket, tighten it by pulling down on it and climb up using the rope. When you climb up onto the roof of the wall, descend to the inside with the same rope again. This is just like a spider as it crosses over. If you have infiltrated in an unfamiliar place or you are not sure of how to return, just leave a rope attached to a post or tree where you have just entered, and go on ahead while holding on to the rope. If you do this, and if it is difficult for you to return, you can find your way back by tracing the rope back to your original location. This is the same as spiders, as they always go ahead with thread wherever they go. Secret traditions say, whenever you infiltrate, you cannot enter without a starting point. Traditions of the spider is about seeking a starting point for your coming infiltration. When spiders build their web, they need a start and secure their thread to build their web. When you infiltrate a castle or mansion according to the traditions, you should make a connection with someone inside and have the person let you in. Skill number 8. O Shinobi no Daiji. The principle of the greater shinobi. Iga traditions say, in order to secure a successful outcome for your shinobi, you should put your men into various provinces and make acquaintances at times of peace. Do this so that you can communicate anything with each other freely. Such a plan will not work well if you try to place your contacts in enemy territory when emergencies have already arisen. Therefore, to do this, you should infiltrate your agents by using the way of the arts, be it poetry, Ranga verse linking, tea, the Go game, footnote number 19, or other artistic hobbies, making acquaintances in various provinces, and having the agents' names known widely, and by many. Also, you should use anything that is popular at the time and will let you have contact with various provinces easily. There is an additional note here that is too faint to read. According to Master Saigyoku of Nuganuma Ryu, you should make acquaintances with someone serving in each of the various clans. Oral traditions state, for example, if you have solid acquaintances from Owari up to Kuwana of Ise, but you have none in Yokkaichi, then you should have an acquaintance in Kuwana help you to make acquaintances in Yokkaichi. By doing things like this, you can develop connections in various places. Skill number 9, Inyo Shinobi no Daiji. The principle of In and Yo Shinobi. Koka traditions say, there are 3 layers of teachings for this subject to be transmitted directly, and they will be passed down separately, outside of this scroll. There is also a deep secret for this, and it is written as follows. In wartime, boundaries are strictly guarded, and they check people so strictly that it is difficult to send your spies into the enemy province. On the other hand, in peacetime, it is easy to have those from your province move and live in other provinces. Therefore, you should have your spies go to other provinces and settle there. However, if you have an emergency, that is a sudden turn of events before you have set up your spies in the enemy area, you should examine those peasants, craftsmen, or merchants, as well as bushi from your own province, who have children or brothers living in enemy lands. If one is among them, then make the father or brothers from your province communicate to their children or brothers in the enemy province. As you have these people in your lands, you can use them as hostages and use the relatives in the enemy province as you wish. Skill 10, Yamabiko no Tsutai, the tradition of echoes. Iga traditions say, echoes here means hearing news that confusion has taken place in another province. Upon such news, you should send more spies to get further information. Also, the traditions say, to get your shinobi to infiltrate from the west, you should make noise in the south and attract the enemy's attention to the south, which makes it easier for you to get in from the west. But take note, if you make noise in the west and infiltrate in the east, then this is not a good strategy. Footnote number 20. Therefore, you should make noise in the west and infiltrate from the north. Koka traditions say, it is called the art of echoes because you gain someone in the enemy and correspond with that person. This has been Iga and Koka Ninja Skills. Skills number 4 through 10. Under Part 1, the skills of Iga and Koka. And this is Any Man, reminding you that elitism is the disease and you are the cure.